Actor Kumail Nanjiani says The Eternals will be Marvel's most epic movie yet, and based on everything we've seen so far, he just might be right. We've spotted some leaked promo art and behind-the-scenes photos of Richard Madden in the role of Ikaris. This movie is a big part of Marvel's Phase 4, and will be introducing so many new characters it might be hard to keep them straight. So let's take a first look at what we know about Ikaris and what we can expect to see in this film. Among the superpowers I wouldn't mind having, being able to fly is pretty high up there on the list. And Richard Madden makes flight look so easy on the set of The Eternals. Well, at least until you notice all the wires. But there's something else interesting that you can see in these behind-the-scenes images. If you look closely, you can see what looks like CGI dots on the side of his jacket. He isn't wearing a superhero costume and is dressed like a regular old non-immortal human being. Even though he's not decked out in his new costume, it appears that there will be some CGI elements incorporated into this scene. But if you're wondering what Ikaris' crime-fighting outfit will look like, I might be able to help you out with that. There's been a leaked concept image floating around on the internet, which was shared by the Twitter fan account Secret of Eternals. This suit looks an awful lot like the one Ikaris wears in the comic books, but with a few notable differences. Although it looks like this design doesn't incorporate any red into the suit, the glowing chest piece is a nice touch. It also looks like Ikaris' hand is glowing too, which could indicate that he's using his powers in this image. It remains to be seen if his actual costume will include the gloves he wears in the comics, or if he's going to be fighting crime with his bare hands. There is one fascinating facet of Ikaris that could have something to do with why his suit was glowing in the leaked promo art. His uncle Vulcan entrusted him with the keys to the Pyramid of the Winds, a storage container for dangerous weapons. It was created by Vulcan and Phastos, the eternal weapon maker who will be played by Brian Tyree Henry. The designs on Ikaris' suit work as keys to open the pyramid. If they start to glow, then the pyramid's in trouble because its security has been breached. And if that happens, then we're all in a lot of trouble, since it's jam-packed with powerful advanced weaponry. Then there's this special promotional poster that Marvel created in honor of Lunar New Year. It doesn't show all the characters, but it gives us a good look at Ikaris' outfit, which seems to match up to the leaked concept art. It seems like Marvel Studios is ditching the red aspect of Ikaris' costume, which isn't too big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. As a bonus, this poster also shows us a glimpse of Angelina Jolie's character Athena, Ajax played by Salma Hayek, and Phastos, who is portrayed by Brian Tyree Henry. Ikaris' glowing hand and apparent lack of gloves makes sense when you consider all of his superpowers. Eternals don't have to worry about perishing from old age or illness, but you probably could have guessed that based on the fact that they're called the Eternals. They also possess a level of strength and speed that the average human simply can't match. But even by Eternal standards, Ikaris is incredibly strong. He's probably on par with the Mad Titan Thanos himself, when he's not wielding the Infinity Gauntlet. He's also difficult to take down because of his enhanced durability. I'm talking punching out rock trenches while flying through lava durable, baby. Even if he gets injured somehow, he can pretty much just shake it off. His body regenerates at an amazing speed, meaning he can heal from all but the most major injuries. To take down an Eternal, you'd have to get rid of a massive portion of their body molecules all at once, or break their mental control over their bodies and then hurt them. As you can probably imagine, doing this is pretty challenging. Ikaris also has crazy high levels of stamina, which ties into his body's ability to regenerate. Cosmic energy also helps boost his metabolism, so he doesn't get overexerted. As you probably guessed based on those photos of Richard Madden rigged up to wires, Ikaris is capable of flying. He levitates by using his powers to manipulate gravitons around himself, and he can use this nifty trick on other people and objects too. Even by Eternal standards, he's fast, and can fly at about 850 miles per hour. If he really has to get somewhere quickly, he also has the option of teleporting there instantly, but he prefers not to. Apparently, the process of teleportation doesn't feel great, and it's probably nowhere near as fun as flying. He also has some psychic abilities that might not be as flashy as zooming around at high speeds, but are handy nonetheless. Ikaris isn't quite at Jean Grey's level, but he can read minds on a very superficial level, unless someone is savvy enough to block him out. He can also create illusions good enough to disguise himself and manipulate molecules in the air to create a shield around himself. Now here's where the glowing hand part comes in. Ikaris can manipulate cosmic energy from his eyes or hands. These energy blasts can reach temperatures of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. which is hot enough to melt iron. These disintegration beams can often vaporize solid objects, and he can shoot them up to 200 feet away. It remains to be seen which of these powers will be incorporated into the movie, but as you can see, there are a ton to choose from. The Eternals isn't just introducing a large quantity of characters to the MCU, it's refilling the hero supply with quality choices. So who is Ikaris, other than a superpowered being with a snazzy blue suit? In the comic books, he's over 20,000 years old, which isn't that old by Eternal standards. His parents were members of the Polar Eternals, who lived in the city of Polaria in what we now know as Siberia. Ikaris' father, Viraco, passed away in an intense battle against a mutated earthworm. So Ikaris was raised by his uncle Vulcan. The Eternals are all capable of being great warriors, but whether or not they choose to do so is another story. Sersi loves living as a human and enjoying life as a New York City socialite, even though she's been known to stop crime from time to time. Phastos doesn't want to do battle, even with a whole pyramid full of weapons. He can make incredible items, but doesn't want to actually use them himself. But Ikaris is a warrior who views himself as one of the protectors of planet Earth. He's been fighting with the Eternals' sworn enemies, the Deviants, for centuries. In the comic books, the Deviants are also very powerful and near immortal, but they don't share the same relatively sunny dispositions with the Eternals. But just because he loves fighting bad guys doesn't mean that Ikaris doesn't have a heart. In fact, he's been known to fall in love with humans from time to time. He once had a son named Ikaris, whom he gifted with a flying device. It was a really sweet idea in theory, but the machine was hardly child-safe. Since this father didn't teach his son how to use it properly, he ended up flying up way too high, passing out due to the lack of oxygen, and ultimately crash landing into the ocean after the sun fried the controls on his flying device. The elder Ikaris was devastated by the loss of his son and took on his name as a memorial. Ikaris also had a notable relationship with a human named Margo Damian, who was the daughter of a famous archaeologist. But sadly, she perished after being turned into a deviant in order to anger Ikaris. No wonder why he's such a fan of fighting those guys. Ikaris has been around for a long time, and he's not the same person he was in the beginning. He was once a lot more single-minded and aggressive in addition to being stubborn. Now he's still just as stubborn, but he doesn't jump straight to dealing out energy blasts anymore. He's proud to be an Eternal and protect Earth, and he's definitely not the kind of person to back down from a fight. Even when his fellow Eternals left the planet, Ikaris stayed behind to take care of all those weak, squishy humans. Ikaris spent a lot of time training and honing his skills. He hoped that enhancing his abilities would help him locate a certain beacon left behind by the Celestials. We've seen a few Celestials in the MCU so far, like Peter Quill's father Ego, and it's thought that the Eternals may give us some more information about them. This particular beacon was supposed to guide the fourth host of Celestials, and Ikaris had to fight against the Deviants who wanted to destroy it. When they started attacking New York City, Ikaris stepped in to help, but that ended up with him being captured and imprisoned in a tube at the bottom of the ocean. Tough break. Thankfully, his fellow Eternal, Thena, managed to work out a truce with the deviant leader Crow, and negotiated for Ikaris' safe return. When the fourth host left, most of the other Eternals did too, but those like Ikaris, whose lives were intertwined with humans, stayed behind. So Ikaris stuck around and kept up with his favorite hobby of taking down deviants. That is until the celestial bodies started raining down from the sky. That's when stuff got real weird. As of right now, there isn't a ton of information out there about which elements of Ikaris' story will be included in the Eternals. It was originally reported that Ikaris was going to enter into a romantic relationship with his fellow Eternal Sersi. But that was before we knew the Black Knight would be involved, and Kit Harington was spotted kissing Gemma Chan on set. Of course, there's always the possibility of a love triangle, but it's more likely that this idea was dropped as the script went through the revision phase. We do know that this movie is going to involve thousands of years of MCU history, and Kumail Nanjiani described it as a lot more cosmic than other Marvel movies. Kevin Feige has said that the movie will involve old myths and legends and reveal that some of them involved the Eternals. There is definitely a lot to look forward to in the Eternals, and Ikaris is one of the characters I am personally most excited to see make his big debut on the silver screen. Well, what do you think about Ikaris being brought to the big screen? What are you hoping to see from Richard Madden's character? Share your thoughts and opinions with us in the comments section below. And don't forget to click on that subscribe button for more videos from us here at CBR. As always, thanks so much for watching.